My sister Penny was always afraid of the upstairs. At our house, she never went up there at night. Our main conversation every night went something like this. Penny said, "Buffy, go upstairs and find me my white sweater, black jeans, and leather jacket." The clothing items would change from night to night, but I was always asked to get her things. She would not go up there without an adult after dark. I said, "Why can't you go get them?" Penny said, "Because something's up there." And I would tell her, "I sleep up there. Nothing has happened to me." Penny would respond with, "Just wait. Someday, it will." I'll admit, it's creepy up there. It's as creepy as it gets. I'll give you the layout. There are 2 rooms that lead into each other, no hallway. There is an attic above and one on each side. The house is well over 100 years old, and there's a banister over the stairs, but it's closed off by a door. I remember Penny coming home from dates, and before she would take her boyfriend upstairs, she would send him up with a flashlight. He would check the closets and under the beds, even though I was in one of those beds. Once, when our mother asked why she would not sleep upstairs in her room, she rattled off numerous reasons. Penny would say, "You can see small lights coming out of the closet. You can hear footsteps and heavy breathing in the attics, and there's always a sense of being watched a little too closely." I responded, "That's ridiculous. I've never seen or heard anything. You should stop letting her sleep on the couch every night, Mom." Mom would say, "She's okay. She can sleep where she wants. She's not hurting anything." I think my mom knew, but since something was bothering me at the time, she overlooked it. Better to have one daughter on the couch than 2. I even took this problem to my dad, as he was always on my side, and my mom seemed that she was always on Penny's side. Eventually, my sister got married and moved out when she was 18, and I was 11. Then I guess whatever it was thought it was my turn. My experiences started to amount, and they started to happen all in the same way that Penny used to describe them. A few of the weird things that would happen to me, the attics I would hear stomping in, and it wasn't in just one attic, it was all 3 of them. There were whispers in the closet, like 2 children having a conversation. The conversations I overheard were from talking about dolls sometimes, like they were trying to figure out what had happened to a doll named Uncle Daffy. Sometimes it sounded as if they were discussing. And all night, and lived in a constant state of panic. When I was upstairs, every nerve was on edge. I started to feel like Penny said, like everything was intense. The worst thing was this big black shadow in the middle of the night, asking where Penny was. To this day, I can't tell if it was my mind playing tricks on me, but what I saw felt so real. What I heard felt even realer. The voice wasn't the voice of a kid. It sounded like it came from someone who smoked 4 packs of cigarettes a day for 50 years. The black shadow asked after my sister 6 times every night. As you know, 6 is the number of the beast, and that's exactly what I could describe this as. When I wouldn't know, I would answer out of fear. The shadow would throw things at me. Books, figurines, even pictures of me and Penny. It was finally my turn to sleep on the couch, because I understood everything my sister had gone through, and now I didn't doubt her. It wasn't an excuse. She actually heard these things. I never understood why, and I didn't until Penny moved out, and I was being bullied by whatever this entity was. That's what this entity was. A bully. Something that always had to have power over us, the young powerless sisters that lived in the home. Fast forward 2 years after Penny was gone, she had her own home. My older sister Jeannie couldn't afford the house she was renting, due to being in the middle of a divorce, so she brought her 3 kids and moved in with us. Jennifer, who was 5, Kevin, who was 3, and Amanda, who was 2. Jennifer would be staying with me, and we were both expected to sleep upstairs. We were woken up all the time by stomping, and when Jennifer would start to cry from being scared, I would tell her it was because the house was old, and that's what old homes do. They settled at night. That's exactly what my mom told me when I heard odd noises in our home. Jennifer's 6th birthday rolled around, and my mom bought her one of those creepy clown dolls. The ones with the plastic head, a wire body under its clown clothes, and it had the most insanely evil laugh I've ever heard. That clown was always going off by itself at night, never during the day. One night, I decided I'd had enough, so I got out of bed and went over to take the batteries out. But when I opened the battery pack, no batteries were inside. I told my mom and her older sister, but no one cared, and they thought it was an overactive imagination, but Penny believed me. So the next day, I got up and threw it in the attic, but it would still go off in the middle of the night. Then one day, I came home, and the doll was out of the attic and sitting on a chair across from my bed. I know this sounds like a horror movie, but you have to believe me when I say that whatever or whoever put it there, I did not know. We ended up burning that doll. Penny came and burned sage in our home. Now that I'm grown up, my kids who like to stay with my mom always tell me about that thing being moved and their chargers being jerked from the wall. But I still feel that it waits to this day for Penny to come home. Maybe because she feared it the most, but I don't know. I do know that the bully brought me a lot closer to my sister, who I couldn't possibly live without now. She became my rock through this whole thing, through this entity trying to tear us apart. I always hate that I didn't believe her. I hate that she had to tell me all of these things and that I complained to her that sleeping on the couch was an issue. I wanted her to grow up at the time and start seeing things like a true adult. But little did I know that when she left, I would turn into her. I experienced all the things she spoke about, every little thing that made her mad and angry and sad. It had awaited me when I was alone. Penny experienced it when she was alone, and nobody believed her. But now that we're closer than ever, I hope this entity can't tear us apart ever again. But whatever it is, it still remains in the house we grew up in. I don't ever want to talk about it again, but I know that it's craving the attention that we give it. I don't want to give it that attention anymore. But the terror it brings spans generations, and now my children know about it. So the cycle will continue, and nobody will continue to believe us. It started off as me and Penny being involved in this situation with this entity, and now that it's spread to our kids and to our closer family members, maybe it is spreading to our family. Maybe nothing can stop it. We've tried again and again, but it just keeps haunting us. It has no issue coming to me in the night and haunting us then. But what it truly wants is Penny. I'll never give her up. I'll never give anyone in our family up. And if this spirit or this entity wants to keep bothering us, then we'll keep fighting back, and we'll make sure that in the future generations of our family, this thing will never affect us this badly again.